The F11 Pro is the first in the F series to feature that pop-up camera. And since we get Pro in its name, this one sits in the upper mid-range section, so expect a higher price. Although, with its good looks, it definitely has our attention. For my initial impressions, I can say that it's a little bigger than your average sized smartphone nowadays. But I like that, since it gives more emphasis to that edge-to-edge glass front. Looking at the back, it actually looks really good despite being made out of plastic. You get that nicely patterned gradient design, and this unit we have is in the Thunder Black color, which looks really dope. Then we have an Oppo logo with a designed by Oppo text under it. At the back, you get a dual rear camera setup and the LED flash. More on that later. Generally, I find the back really classy, but it's also a really extreme fingerprint magnet, so make sure you use that hard case included in the box. The Oppo F11 Pro has a metallic frame, making it look sleeker. On top are the pop-up 16-megapixel front camera, noise-canceling microphone, and ambient light sensor. Come to the bottom of the device and we get a 3.5mm headphone jack, a micro USB port, and a single loudspeaker. On the right, you'll see the power button and a hybrid dual SIM card slot, which you can use for a micro SD card instead of a second SIM. While on the left, you get your volume rocker. Personally, being left-handed, I do like the volume rocker placement, and actually the power lock placement is perfect for my middle finger. But for most of you, I think you'd rather prefer the buttons to all be on one side so that when you're watching something horizontally, well, the buttons don't get in the way no matter how you hold it. Or when you place it down on a table and the buttons are all on one side, you can just generally place it all on that one other side where there are no buttons. But nonetheless, the buttons are clicky and easy to reach despite the phone's size. Up front, when the selfie camera pops up, it kinda reminds me of the Energizer phone that was released in MWC this year. Technically, the camera makes the phone look like a battery when it's popped up. The camera pops up automatically when taking selfies or using Face Unlock. It's also worth mentioning that you do get the option in the settings menu to swipe up first before the camera pops up. So far, that pop-up camera works really quick. You can even force it down if you wanted to, but I personally would not. Because you might risk damaging the motor. For display, you get a 6.53-inch Full HD Plus LCD display with a 2340 by 1080p resolution, plus a large 90.9% screen-to-body ratio. It's nice to see some super slim bezels and a small chin here. Although it's still not as good as the higher-end panels on the market today, it still works perfectly fine for watching movies and playing games. You do get good viewing angles though, and the phone can get really bright and clear even under direct sunlight as long as you're on your maximum brightness. For audio, try to avoid covering the single bottom firing speaker down there, and you should have enough volume to fill a room. There's no Dolby Atmos support or anything, but once you plug in a headset, you can take advantage of the headphones monitor feature that allows you to have a real-time karaoke experience with just your headset. Now, for battery, the F11 Pro has an above-average 4,000 mAh capacity with VOOC 3.0 fast charging. Just like you, we also expected a USB Type-C port on this device, but instead, what we get is a old-fashioned micro USB port. Yes, it's disappointing, but frankly, it's not that big of a deal breaker thanks to that VOOC fast charging. Though, if you think about it, we could have gotten Super VOOC if it was just a Type-C port. In our PC-marked battery test, we got 10 hours and 48 minutes of battery life. It's quite short knowing that you can get mid-range devices with higher battery life. But that result doesn't affect real-world usage. So we ran a video loop test which was playing a 1080p movie at 50% brightness, 50% volume with earphones, and airplane mode was turned on. We got 16 hours and 40 minutes of playback. Surely, the F11 Pro can last you a whole day if you're not a heavy user. When it comes to charging, from 0 to 100, all it took was an hour and 30 minutes. Now, let's talk about software. The Oppo F11 Pro runs on Android 9 Pie skinned with ColorOS 6. So it's got an easy-to-use UI with convenience features such as Smart Assistant Dashboard, Smart Sidebar, Assistive Ball, and a feature that allows you to press the power button for 0.5 seconds to easily access Google Assistant. Quick gestures and motions are also on board, like double tapping to turn the screen on, drawing a letter O while the phone is locked to quick launch the camera, or even draw the pause sign to pause any music playing. What's also great is that the software is specifically optimized to maximize the F11 Pro's true full screen display. You can choose if you want an app drawer or not, plus ColorOS 6's square icons in the notification bar look way cleaner. Other features including App Clone, One-Handed Mode, Smart Driving, and Game Space, which is Oppo's gaming performance acceleration engine. So far, it works great, with selected games such as PUBG and Arena of Valor. Although, note that most games will run smooth mostly on medium settings. For hardware, powering the F11 Pro is a Helio P70 chipset together with 6GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage. If there's anything we can say, it would be that this phone delivers solid performance. We hardly experience any hiccups, it doesn't heat up too much, and the battery life is boosted considering it already has a 4000 mAh capacity. There won't be any problems when doing basic tasks such as social media hopping, playing music, watching videos, calling, and messaging. For gaming, the F11 Pro can handle most heavy games even if you play every day. Take a look at the benchmark scores we got. Now that that's all laid out, let's talk about what Oppo is mostly known for, the cameras. Backed by AI, the F11 Pro has a 16MP f2.0 front-facing camera and a dual 48MP main shooter plus a 5MP lens for sensing depth. By default, the main rear camera is set to 12MP, but you can change it to 48MP in the camera settings. If you do use the 48MP, you'll lose some features like HDR, AI scene recognition, dazzle color, digital zoom, and filters. Taking a look at these two shots where one is shot in the 12MP setting and the other is in 48MP, you'll notice that there's not much difference with the contrast and color reproduction. However, when you zoom in and start pixel peeping, well of course, the 48MP shot starts to show more details and appear sharper. Now, in these shots of Ira, it looks like the AI scene detection enhanced the 12MP shot, making the photo look like it's got some HDR mode turned on with a higher exposure. The 48MP shot, on the other hand, looks more natural but has tiny blurry details, so make sure your hands aren't shaky when using the 48MP setting. Another top feature of the Oppo F11 Pro's camera is Ultra Night Mode for better low-light performance. Take a look at these shots side by side. With the Ultra Night Mode turned on and the other turned off, there was no abrupt change, but it's noticeable that the Ultra Night Mode improved the photo. You get less noise and more highlights. Okay, now let's take a look at that selfie pop-up camera's quality. The F11 Pro has improved AI Beauty Mode that gives you more freedom to adjust your selfies manually. If you want a thinner or smaller face, bigger eyes, smaller nose, or even a quick retouch, it's ready for that. So looking at these selfies of AJ, where one has minimal beauty filters while the other has a lot more, it's actually not bad to have a little touch-up when looking at the one with less AI beauty effects. Meanwhile, the photo with a lot of quick filters done still looks good, since it manages to retain her hair the way it is, and you can still identify that it's AJ. For portrait mode, the F11 Pro actually didn't do a very good job here. The cutout around the hair isn't perfect, although this doesn't happen all the time. For videos, the F11 Pro can shoot up to 1080p at 30 frames per second. Videos come out okay. We think that the colors look slightly washed out and the image is a bit over-sharpened. You also don't get any form of image stabilization, so make sure your hands are steady. Now, considering all these highs and lows, let me start by saying that the Oppo F11 Pro does not look cheap. Believe me, it looks way better in person. You get an awesome edge-to-edge display, good battery, great cameras for photography, smooth security, and a balanced performing phone that can handle most of what you throw at it. However, for a phone with a forward-looking design, it's still a bit of a shame to see that micro USB port and the lack of any 4K video recording. Maybe they'll improve this in the next upcoming smartphones. But so far overall, we still fairly like this Oppo F11 Pro. Pricing for the Oppo F11 Pro can be found in the description box. So what do you guys think? Is the Oppo F11 Pro popping up for considerations in your heads? Let us know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to smack that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit that bell icon so you get notified of our future uploads. Be sure to visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Again, this has been Miguel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!